Hello and welcome everyone, I'm John from Evelyn. Today in this tutorial, you will learn how an application owner on the OneWeb AppSpace can instantly create new roles, add permissions for any of the OneWeb components, and assign those roles and permissions among the team members for team collaboration. All these can be done and controlled using AppSpace in the OneWeb platform. So before going into the demonstration, let me give you a quick brief on roles, permissions, and objects. The access control model in the OneWeb platform is based on these role, permission, and objects. The role is a job function that defines an authority level and can be used to assign the level of permissions on each object. For example, creating a role for certain team members to access and develop only the back-end or front-end of your applications and restricting them to use and access the other components. Permission. Permission is an approval to access objects or bundle of objects, whereas an object can be anything you need to control permission, such as button, text boxes, menu, page, file, etc. So one role can have multiple permissions and therefore access to objects that are associated with those permissions. Let's see a demonstration for better understanding. So as I mentioned, using this AppSpace, if you open any of your application projects which has been created by you as an application project owner, you can create roles and assign permissions inside those roles. Later you can assign these roles to a specific users based on their skill set while adding or making them part of their team or application projects. To add a new role for this application, you can click on Application Settings, then Development and Access Control. Here you can click on the role to create a new role. Let's say here in this example you have a new team of backend developers or designers that are going to work with you on this project and will only be assigned permissions to design and access the backend components of this application, which is Process Designer and Microflow Designer. So in that case, you can create a new role for this application. Click on Add Role. Give some name to your role, let's say Backend Designer. Give some description, which is optional. And in the Access Control, under the Permission tab, you can select permissions here that have access to Backend Designer components of OneWeb, which is access to develop Process and develop Microflow. Now you can click on Add Role button to add this role into this application. As you see, the new role is successfully added into this application. Now you can click on the team under development to add new team members or developers into this project. Choose team and then developer and click on Add Developer button to find your team member on the OneWeb platform. So once found, you can move to Access Control Settings and select the Backend Designer role under Role for this user to give him only access to see and design the process and the Microflow component for this application project. Click on the Add Developer button to add this user to your application project. Now this user is successfully added to your application project. And based on the role created and assigned by you, this user will only be given access to the process and Microflow component of this application. Let's log in to this user account to confirm. Open the application project. And as you can see, this user will be able to see only the process and Microflow component of this application. Also notice that this user could not see any existing process and services created under the main application project. If you see the main application project created by the application owner, there are two existing services. So as an application owner, if you would like to assign these existing services or any object along with the role, you can go back to the role menu in Application Settings, Click on the edit icon for the backend designer role. Now you can click on objects and find your services. Once found, select them and click on the save button. Now all users or team members added under this application as a backend designer role will be able to see existing services. This is how, as an application owner, you can create your own role, set permissions for components, objects for your application projects. You can also add members to your projects based on their skill set and restrict the user access to any members to your projects based on their skill set and restrict the user access to any application component based on your requirement, all by using the OneWeb AppSpace. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more information on OneWeb features. Thank you for watching this tutorial.